Guys. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to wait patiently for my first students to log in to the live chat. Hopefully, you guys had a restful day today. It is May the 6th, a beautiful day outside, and hope that you had a chance to enjoy it. Taylor C. Hi, Taylor. Welcome to another live chat. Hopefully, one of the last few we'll have to do before all of this is over. Demaya, hi, Demaya, hi, Lauren. So you guys know now that you don't have to put your full last name, you can just put your first name with the last initial and then whatever campus you reside from. And I'm going to say hi to Emily Loza and Monica Murga and everyone who has been logging on and participating in the lives. I know you guys are kind of bored with this. It's maybe getting a little too redundant, but I see a light at the end of the tunnel, babies. Just hold on. Everything's going to be okay. Miranda, hi. Mabry. Hello, Emily. Hey, Cassie. Hey, Melissa. Just want to give a quick shout out to the graduates up and coming. Brenna Womack from South School. McKenna, I think Aubrey is ready to graduate. And I know that there's a couple of you at North. So I'm just going to tell you congratulations in advance. And may life bring you the best of everything it has to offer. And you guys are going to do great. All right. So we have a lot to cover today. So I want to give you just a few more minutes to get timed in. Those of you that are already timed in, please go get pen and paper so we can take a few notes. Actually, you don't need pen and paper if you have the worksheet that was emailed to you. It's the Salon Business worksheet. The number one question is good business requires and then I'm going to give you the answers to those blanks. Please make sure you're studying this chapter. Yes, Mabry. Yes, congratulations. This is a really, really good chapter to learn. Just because I know some of you don't plan on always working for someone, that maybe you might want to venture out and be your own boss someday, whether it be owning a salon or maybe booth renting is an independent contractor. So this is a great chapter if you have a lot of questions about the types of things that you'll need to make that happen. And I know that there's a lot of great potential salon owners in our schools. So I'm excited to see the future for some of you. Hopefully, those of you that do decide to take that chance and own a business or own a salon or nail studio or whatever, you make sure that you research everything you need and that you are not unaware of anything that could possibly happen. Just like we weren't aware that we were going to be in a pandemic for all this time. So, got to make sure you have safeguards against stuff like that. So, while you guys are timing in, I'm going to go ahead and do my little setup. I don't have an essential oil today. I'm losing my voice, so I kind of wanted to just have a little bit of natural air, and I've been going outside. I don't know if that's doing me any good, but I think it's because I'm talking too much. All right. Let's get started. Y'all know how I do. Get my little setup. If you did not get the worksheet, no worries. You can just do pen and paper. I'm just going to give you the answers. I'm not going to write down the entire question. So if you want to just write down the answers and then maybe get the worksheet later. I am going to read the question first, and then you can always fill that in later. Remember, you guys, upon your return to school, you are going to need to have a binder or some kind of, I guess, storage space for all of the work that you've been doing over these past few weeks. Okay, that's going to count as part of your lab grade and your grade, and that's how you get credit and your hours. So if you've been slacking, I would take the next few days, maybe some free time that you have to go through and make sure that you've covered all the chapters we've been covering. Um, since we've been on our little hiatus, there's a lot. Salon Business is a very long chapter. There will be a quiz over the information, so hopefully you guys are studying as well. Those of you that are going to stay bored, um, real important that you look at Wendy's live from today. There's a lot of good information, and she offered you a lot of answers to some of the questions that you might face. Um, I suspect when we get back, we're going to have a lot of people kind of in a mad rush to get everything prepared and done. So we're only human and we're limited in the amount of assistance that we can do for each student, but we're going to do our best to try to help you guys out. Just remember, though, for just future reference, we will not be able to go through and check your bags if you're going for your practical and if you've already taken your written. We just don't have the manpower. Plus, I think with all the guidelines that we have to follow upon our reopening, we're not going to be able to accommodate that. So I really, really suggest you guys figure out a way, maybe get in touch with a graduate that's recent or TDLR book, TDLR website. Try to get as much information of your own as you can understand. And then if you have any questions, we'll answer any questions that you have. Hello, Destiny. Hi, Ava. Melissa. Melissa, yes, you are turning this in. This is the worksheet. It is a fill in the blank worksheet. And the first one is good business requires an efficient record system. So yes, you will have to turn this in. Again, just want to reiterate, those students that come and log on late, if you guys could just do me a huge favor, those of you that are on time, you future salon owners, you just kind of update them and let them know so that they're not asking a bunch of questions in the live, because I'm kind of on full speed right now because I have a lot of information to get to you guys today. All right, so let's get started. Number one, good business requires, and I'm just going to write the blanks. So this is our salon business. Good business requires an efficient record system. And I'm going to try to write big enough where you guys can see. And these are the correct answers. So if you already filled this out and you have the wrong answer, it's perfectly okay. Just change it. Good business requires an efficient record system, and we're going to go more in depth on that later. Efficient means you have a way of recording everything that pertains to your business, like salaries and timesheets, when you hired someone, when someone left. So that's going to be number one. Number two, accurate records of all income and expenses. That's the next thing you need. Accurate record of all income and expenses. Because they have to balance out. You have to know where your money's going and know where it's coming from. So you're going to have to keep accurate records of all of that. Okay, number three, I think I have room to write number three. Retain blank, 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 blank. Okay, I'm going to give you those answers. Number three, you got to retain money for rent, utilities, yes, insurance, salaries, and advertisement. Advertisement. And again, excuse me for, oh, that should be an I. Sorry, guys. Oops, I spelled that all kinds of wrong. Hold on. That's supposed to be advertisement. And this is just the basics, and according to the book, you're going to need more money. You need money to pay an attorney. You're going to need money for incidentals. But this is the basics. This is what you need to put in the blank. So for number 3, retain rent, utilities, insurance, salaries, and advertisement. And you remember, your best form of advertisement is your word of mouth, the people that talk about you. Okay? Go ahead and erase. Number 4, business transactions must be retained for, and we're just going to go down the list, A, B, C, and D. Okay? So business transactions, that means all of your money that you make, or profit, or losses, or whatever, all transactions that you do must be retained for A, your daily operations. You got to know how much money is coming in and how much is going out. Let's just say daily operations of the salon. You guys are salon people. And salon doesn't necessarily mean cosmetology salon. It could be a nails salon and spa. You have to retain records of your daily operations, your business transactions. B, determining income, expenses, and profit loss. You can't just report the amount of money that you're losing or you're gaining. You have to report both. See? You have to prove the value of your salon, how much you're worth. Because if you decide to sell, you got to know the value. Okay, so this is what your business transactions must be retained for, so people can see how much money is actually coming in and out. I'm going to go ahead and erase the top. Leave that bottom one. D, is arranging bank loans. You want money? Got to show what you're worth. Can't get a loan without this information. And good credit. E, this is kind of a long one, so I'm going to write this a little bit bigger because this is the last one. I believe it's the last one. Okay, so you also need to retain your business transaction for your income tax purposes. Got to report that. Social Security, I'm just going to put SS. So that's Social Security. You have to prove what your labor costs are. Other taxes, like state taxes, etc. Unemployment. And compensation. And if I'm moving a little too fast, it's just, slow it down, pause, rewind, screenshot, whatever you got to do. Okay, so your business transactions must be retained for these reasons, A through E. Okay, Baldwin Beauty Schools, y'all ready? Thank you so much. And if you're not able to read my handwriting, because I know sometimes it's a little weird, Baldwin Beauty Schools is kind enough to write these down in the live chat box so you guys can look. All right. I'm erasing. Hope y'all don't feel like I'm going too fast. Am I going at a good pace? Am I moving too fast? I do everything fast. You guys, you'll get used to it. Oh, thank you, Monica. All right. Okay, so that was number 4, business transactions. We're on to number 5, why records are important. So again, we got A, B, C, and D. A, records are important because you have to make comparisons to prior years. You want to know what you made last year so you can do better. Or just gotta know. B, to detect changes for any new services that you're offering. If we our industry is forever changing, so there's always a need to know what new services, what's the cost of the supplies. So you got to do that. And then that's my next one, is C, ordering supplies. And let me just make a suggestion. Those of you that are planning on being business owners, if you order supplies yourself, I would do it personally myself until I had maybe a partner or an employee that I could trust. Because what happens when people are ordering a lot of supplies and there are different people ordering, sometimes the inventory gets lost and then you lose money on what you're not seeing on the. So ordering supplies is very important because you gotta spend money to make money. All right, and then D is going to be use of materials needed. And you're going to have to I'm going to put needed down here. You're going to have to really decide also the expense on that, because there are disposable materials that you order, like cotton rounds, headbands, just a lot of stuff that you throw away. They're one-use materials, and then there's stuff that you use over and over and that you can sanitize. So use of materials needed, and that should go with ordering your supplies. All right. So D, and then the last one is E, and that's going to be control of waste. Sometimes we take this for granted when we're in school, especially in beauty school. I've noticed even salons too. But what salons start doing is they start keeping track of all of the color that you measure. So those of you that are kind of in that habit of just kind of throwing bleach in the bowl or measuring out products without being conscious of how much you're using and how much you're wasting, we're going to really have a hard time dealing with that after you get out of school or after you're done. You have to do that now, because I have a lot of students that I love dearly, but they don't mind wasting products because they don't have to pay for it. But once that money comes out of your pocket, you will learn control of waste. Okay, so that's why records are important. We can look back on stuff. All right, so number 6, we're going to talk about ownerships different types of ways to own a salon, because there's just not just one way, there's several ways. Okay, so number 6, individual ownership is also called sole proprietorship. And what that means is, and you can go ahead and write this, the individual assumes all profits and losses. So that's going to be 6. So the one owner, or the person that owns it, I'm just going to put / losses because it could be both. All right. Number 7 is a partnership, and that's a business owned by 2 or more persons, and then the costs are shared for a partnership. So that's partnership. I'm not writing the words, I'm just writing the definitions. And I'm going to put business owned all costs are shared. Doesn't necessarily mean they're divided equally, but they're shared between the partners. And that's, of course, upon an agreement when you have a partnership. Can't just decide you're going to do something without your partners being okay with it. It's a beautiful thing about teamwork. It's kind of like what we do right now. Okay, so partnership is businesses owned, or a business is owned by 2 or more persons and all costs are shared. And then you have your corporation. Oh, I said I wasn't going to write the word. Whoops. Corporation is a business owned by shareholders. And these shareholders receive income based on the corporation's profits. Or they don't receive any income, depending on how great that business is doing. Hi, Wendy. That's okay, Leslie. Just make sure you have this worksheet and you guys are filling it out. All right? So, individual ownership, partnership, and corporation. Those were the last 3 we did. Okay, so number 8 is what you need to know or do before you buy a salon. If you plan on purchasing a salon, which I'm sure some of you will, we got a lot of graduates from Baldwin Beauty Schools who are salon owners. Very successful, I might add. Not to brag, but we are the best. So before you buy a salon, we're going to do A, B, C. These are kind of long, so I'm going to try to do a shorthand version. You want to have a written purchase and sale agreement. This is what's going to be required You guys want to remember, never do any business without some kind of signed agreement or paperwork. Because some people will tell you something one day and then the next day it changes because of something else. If you have it in writing, you're good. Okay, and it should be written and it should be signed. It should be a document, right? So B, buyer or seller should make and sign a complete statement of inventory. So I'm not going to write all that. I'm going to write B, you need a complete statement of inventory. That's going to be all your products, all of your fixtures, everything that you have in the salon. Usually that's going to mean your products. So if we're a beauty school, so we have mannequin heads, we have snap caps, we have color, we have retail products. So you want something in writing that says this is how much inventory I have and this is what we're agreeing, either that I'm going to take with me or that I'm going to leave for you. Okay, C, you want to make sure there is no default in the payments. So if you're buying a salon and that owner is behind in payments, no bueno. Because you're going to assume all of that. Just going to put in debts. Okay, default means you owe, that you haven't paid, you're behind. If you acquire a salon that has debt, you're going to be responsible for that debt. You're going to either incur or absorb it and have a written agreement saying so, or you're going to require that person that is selling the salon to make sure their debts. A lot of times, you guys, it's not a good idea to buy a business that's going under, that has a lot of debt, unless you can afford or absorb that financial responsibility. All right. So that was C. I'm erasing. I write fast, so y'all get through this. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. All right, so make sure there's no default. Then D, you want to consult your lawyer. You're not sure about something or what you need to understand legal jargon. You want to just consult an attorney. You can hire one. But you also want to make sure that you're doing everything on your end to make sure that this deal goes through and there's no problems or red tape. And that's what an attorney is good for. Any business owner in the world needs a lawyer, needs an attorney, needs someone who can represent them, especially if you're purchasing. All right. Okay, so we are at number 9, agreements before you sell. So there's certain things you have to do before you sell a salon. If you have a salon and you're selling, you want to make sure you have the correct identity of the owner. And when I know that sounds like, oh, some people will open businesses and they'll use different names or aliases. They'll recreate themselves or reinvent themselves. The correct identity for that business of that owner, you're going to need that. Otherwise, yeah. And then you're going to need a true representation of the value. How much is your salon really worth? Do you need renovations? Is it in a good location where there's a lot of foot traffic? A lot of people who have who are very well employed, who have good jobs, who live in a nice neighborhood. You want to make sure that you don't inflate the value of your salon, because that's going to always come out in the wash later. Number C, or letter C, sorry, is use the salon's name and reputation for a period of time. Especially if it's a good reputation. Some people don't change it, they leave it the same. So if I own Kimberly's Boutique and I've been in business for 20 years and I'm just trying to travel the world, which I'm going to do one day in my camper, get a couple dogs and just go see the world. And that person wants to use my name because people know my reputation, my salon's been, if I was to purchase a salon with a good reputation and name, I would probably keep that same name. I wouldn't change it. Sometimes a name change can make or break a business. That salon has a good reputation. Everybody knows Kimberly Salon. I'm going to keep that name, but you got to put that in the agreement. And if the owner says, well, you can only use my name and reputation for 2 years, then that's the agreement you make. But it has to be a definite period of time. All right? And then you have to have some kind of agreement where the seller does not compete. It's called a something competition something. Okay, the seller will not compete with prospective owner. That means if I sell you my salon, Kimberly's Boutique, I'm not going to go down the street and open up another boutique to compete with you. So that's got to be written as well. I'm going to look in the live chat and see. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see y'all are good. Look, opening, don't hold your breath on that. We gotta do that slowly. So those of y'all that are getting all excited, calm down. This is not something we're gonna just go back to school. I know you guys are chomping at the bit and they're slowly reopening, but again, do what's best for you. Okay, we're gonna do everything nice and slow. We're gonna give you guys an opportunity to get all the information you need, but I know that some of you are concerned about everything opening up and it's freaking you out, but we're going to make sure to take all the precautions we need to make sure you guys are safe and sound. All right. So let's do number 10, protection in making a lease. So when you decide to write up your agreement, your lease agreement, you're paying for a salon, you don't have the money outright, you got to make a lease agreement. The first thing you want to do is secure exemption of fixtures. I'll explain that. Fixtures are parts of the salon, like the hood dryers, shampoo bowls. You want to secure the exemption of fixtures so that they can be removed without any kind of lease violation. If you don't have that written in your lease agreement and you start taking stuff out, and that potential owner that you're selling to says, oh, no, 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 no. You were supposed to leave all these hood dryers. I'm supposed to have all of these. You got to make sure that that's in your agreement, okay? So that's a violation of the lease if you don't have that in there and you start taking stuff out. B, agreement should include providing necessary renovation and repairs. Agreement should include slash, I'm going to put repairs. Because what are the odds you're going to buy a brand spanking new salon? It's not going to need anything done. Sometimes you luck out and you may get that opportunity to not have it, but I guarantee it's going to cost you a lot more. So in that agreement, in that contract, you have to include any kind of renovations, anything you want to do, whether that's the sign outside or inside, put that in that document. All right, and then C is kind of long, so I'm going to go ahead and erase A and B. I guess I will just keep going because some of you guys are not frozen. Some of you are still good. Let me know. Let me know. No connection now. I'm wondering if that's on my end. My end is still going. So, okay. Oh, good. It's back. Perfect. Number 11, protection against fire, theft, and lawsuits. Now that we are back, good job, you guys. Sorry about that. I think that might be my internet. So we're on number 11, protection against fire, theft, and lawsuits. A, you want to, this is a big one. And this is kind of hard because sometimes people are just, they start off really good and then you see the decline happen. You want to make sure you employ honest and able employees. And when we say honest and able, these are people who are going to show up, not steal, make sure that your business is clean. If there's an alarm, make sure that alarm is set every night. Make sure the doors are locked. All right. B, follow safety precautions to prevent the following. Fire, theft, injury, and lawsuits. I'm going to write that over here. That goes with A. You employ honest and able employees, you won't have to worry about that. let me tell you something. I've seen very, very good businesses go under because of a lawsuit or because of the employees not following procedure and not adhering to the standards that they need. Easy. All right. Also, too, you guys, you want to obtain insurance. That's going to be your best bet because, nobody's perfect. Stuff happens. So make sure that you have, on top of that, insurance. C, you do not violate medical practice laws. Because we deal with the public, and because of our industry and what we do, we have a tendency to want, or people have a tendency to want us to give them a diagnosis, to offer treatment. We do not do this. We are governed by certain laws from the state of Texas and just the Cosmetology Commission that we cannot diagnose, cure, treat, or even attempt to know what we're doing with disease. So that's C. D, you need to become familiar with your sanitation code. How you properly dispose of your blood spill material, how you properly sanitize a work area. You have to follow that, and you have to make your employees or coworkers or whatever. If you're working, a lot of salon owners still work, so they feel like they're coworkers. But you got to become familiar. That means if you have to have an autoclave, then you need to have an autoclave. Not just have one, but show your employees how to use it regularly, but just become familiar with whatever standards that you're going to be held to. Okay, all right. So the next one, I'm going to go ahead and erase. Time is, let me see. Ooh, I got to hurry up. E is to keep accurate records. Always want to make sure that your records are truthful, that you're not fudging. Make sure that they're accurate and up to date. And that's going to be the number of employees you have, the length of their employment, their social security numbers, how much they've been paid, stuff like that. All right. So we're at number 12. We're going to do the 6 methods of selecting your location. And I'm going to erase this. Oh, please rewrite C. Oh, I'm going to read C for you, sweetheart. It's do not violate medical practice laws. That's a long one, so just write, do not violate medical practice laws. That means don't attempt to cure, diagnose, treat anything. So that was C, do not violate medical practice laws. So here are your 6 methods of selecting a location. Number 1, you want to make sure you want to be not with clients, the population. There's enough people in the area that you want to build it. It's not an up and coming area that actually has people. Another thing for you, selecting your location, your transportation method, or your employee's transportation method. If your employees are feeling like where they work is too far, chances are they're going to be late. So you got to make sure that that's something that you look at. Or transportation for other people. Are you easy to get to? Is it an easy location to spot? Is it visible from the highway? Number 3 is trade possibilities. And there are other businesses around. Perhaps you guys could offer incentives and come together or collaborate on some kind of trade. Maybe if I'm opening a salon next to a restaurant, I could offer, the patrons at that restaurant a little bit of a discount if they patronize my salon. So trade possibilities is number 3. 4 is visibility. Don't know how important that is, because if I can't find you, chances are I'm not gonna hunt. So visibility from the road, visibility, the signage. Number 5 is a zoning ordinance. Which is required, especially if you're building or. And then 6 is parking. Because if you're in an area where there's designated parking, maybe you opened in a strip mall, you will have assigned parking for your patrons. And depending on the lease agreement, you could be in violation if your patrons or employees park in the wrong spot. That's why for Baldwin, we have a lease agreement with all of the surrounding businesses that our students will only park in the designated areas. That's why it's so important. Okay. If you're freezing, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's on my end or whatever. But I'm going to try to make this quick and painless. Number 13 is your bookkeeping systems. And I'm just going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to do that with little dots, I'll just do 1. You need a record of appointments. That way you can see how many people are patronizing your daily business and just keep a good record of appointments. Disbursements. That's money that's distributed to someone or something. Petty cash. Profit / loss. So how much money you make, how much money you lose. 5 is inventory. And 6 is bills paid. So those are going to be your bookkeeping systems. And of course, you're going to need more than that. You're going to need like write-ups. You're going to need records of your updated licenses. Like we have to have our licenses displayed, updated. So that's records too. All right? So that's 1 through 6. Y'all got it? So bookkeeping systems was number 13. Perfect. All right, let me erase this. The next one is number 14, and that's going to be your good management practices. Number one is what you want to do is adjust complaints, any grievances. What that means is you may maybe want to note it down, write an incident report, handle it. If somebody doesn't like a service, you just want to make sure that you have some kind of record of that. Um, and we're at number 14 for good management, handle employees. So those of you that are thinking you might want to be in a management position, this is going to be the hardest and biggest challenge is handling the other employees and doing it in a way that's successful for all. That's a hard one because everybody's different. Sell merchandise is number 3. It's retailing. Number 4 is build good working relationships. And the reason why I believe that one is very important is because sometimes when you don't have a good working relationship with someone, it can affect your performance, whether you believe that or not. So it's always important for if you're in a management and your practices, you got to do that with everybody. All right. And then last one is greeting patrons. Not just, hey, how you doing? Inviting them in, telling them about your service, your salon, what you offer. Greeting is not just saying hi. Greeting is like opening the door and welcoming somebody into your home. So managers usually have to deal with that. They have to lead by example on that because some people can see someone walk in and they won't even say hello. They won't speak. They just say, oh, hey. Okay. Number 15 is insurance. I'm looking at you guys. I hope those of y'all that are having whole conversations are actually taking notes because you guys could turn this in. I'm like, hopefully y'all found this. This is not necessarily in your books. That's why I'm giving you the answers because I looked through all the books and I thought, I'm going to find these in the book. These are the answers to that specific worksheet. So if it's kind of weird, that's why. All right, so 15 is insurance. We're at number 15. Number 1 is public liability. Two is unemployment, and this is also the types of insurance. Public liability, that basically means if someone slips and falls in your salon, you have insurance to cover it if they're injured. Unemployment. I don't know what that is for. 3 is malpractice. 4 is fire. Theft is number 5. And we all know about number 6, business interruption. Nobody ever expects that. But it happens, as you guys, where something unforeseeable, something totally out of your control can stop your business in a heartbeat. And then 7 is compensation. So those are the types of insurances. That's number 15. Almost done. And I realize that those of you that have to work and have to go, I'm going to go to the end of this and then you can do a last roll call. Just make sure that if you leave before the live is over, that you do a final roll call after 5 or at 5. Okay, because we're at 5:54. I'm sorry, at 6. And you can just go back to the live to get the rest of the answers if you need to. Okay, next one is compliance with state cosmetology laws. That's going to be number 16. And all I'm going to have you write is read your TDLR rules and regs book. Okay, for that. So for number 16, just take a moment. And if you don't have your TDLR rules and regs book, you can go online and order it. And it's going to update you on any of the compliance that you need before you open. If you're going to open a salon, you must read that. And then you must also have your potential business inspected before you can open. So they got to make sure that there's no fire hazards, that there's no anything that needs to be reported. So that's going to be number 16. All right, and then we have the fill in the blank for upselling. Be familiar with merits, and that blank is benefits of the product. Or whatever product. Upselling can mean a service. Whatever you're upselling, you want to give the benefits. If you're upselling it, people want to know why. If it's a conditioning treatment, here are the benefits. Spell benefits right? Sorry, that's E. Your hair will feel a lot softer. It'll be more manageable. It will detangle a lot easier. Okay, benefits of the product. And then the next one is adapt the approach and selling method to the needs of the client. Not because that particular product or that particular service is on special and you're just trying to push it. Most chances are people aren't going to want to buy something they don't need. So make sure that if you are upselling, that your needs of your client come first, and that you understand that sometimes clients don't realize they need something, like a conditioner treatment. That's a really, really good thing to upsell. Really easy, a little bit of money, a little extra time. Or maybe you could upsell a blowout, especially if you did a haircut service. Or if you're an esthetician, you can upsell a skin treatment. All right, so the next one. It is essential to be self-confident. Especially when you're upselling or if you're trying to get a client to consider something. You don't want to seem like you're just rehearsing a script. You actually want to be confident in your approach. Look them in the eye, stand straight up, or with your shoulders back, head up. Never, and this is the next one, never misrepresent your product. Really, never misrepresent anything you do. Don't offer something that you know that you're not able to do. If you don't know how to do extensions and you're not certified, don't tell people that you can do them and then just practice as you go. This is probably one of the worst things I've seen in our industry. People will misrepresent their services or their abilities or products even, just to make a sale, just to get the extra money. Don't do that to yourself because it's going to come back to haunt you. The next one is use blank. Tact is the first blank. Avoid being rude and offensive is the second two blanks. And that doesn't necessarily mean profanity. Maybe just a rude comment. If you're passive aggressive and that client is bothering you, don't make rude comments. Don't be passive aggressive. Use tact when you speak. Be impeccable with your words. Don't be rude and offensive. If someone needs a conditioning treatment, and I keep going back to that, and they say no, or they need a haircut and their hair is breaking, the worst thing you can do is say, well, your hair is going to break off. That's rude and offensive. That kind of language is kind of really off-putting, and it might be shocking to some people. So tact and then rude and offensive, and that's in any situation, you guys. The next blank, we could put a lot of words in there, but the answer is negative. You could put pushy or aggressive, because when you're trying to upsell, but I'm going to put negative. And the reason why I feel like that's a good answer is because Wendy said it was. Oops, is it ET? Negative, yes. That's just having an overall negative spirit. If the client and you are not getting along and it shows on you, don't be negative. I think I spelled that wrong. But anyway. Last one, delivery should be, I'm sorry, it's not the last one. Delivery should be relaxed and friendly. Shouldn't be put upon you or rushed. Gotta just kind of be yourself. Don't be in a hurry. Just hurry up and buy this so I can get to my next client. Smiling. Always a good gesture of friendliness. All right? Demonstrate the use of the product is the next blank. So whatever product you're selling, you want to demonstrate it. Anytime you're retailing, especially, if you don't use that product, then how are you really going to retail it? So demonstrate how to use it. Most people don't know that when you spray hairspray, that you can't hold it directly on the spot you're spraying it, that you have to let it mist. So show them how to do that. All right? Determine the right psychological moment to close the sale. And what that means is your client has already decided on what services, what products, you're done. Now it's time to close the sale. Don't keep trying to offer them. And the reason why I like the word psychological moment is because sometimes when people are upset and all you want to do is just get to the next client, sometimes closing the sale can seem a little impersonal. You just want them out of your chair. But close the sale with a nice, friendly ending. All right? Successful retailing is number 18. The expectation that things will come out right is called optimism. That's that next blank. The next one, desire to acquire good finances and acquisitiveness. Hope I spelled it right. That's a big word. Guess what? All right. The ability to overcome obstacles or problems you need to be self-assertive. That's hard for some of my shy people, my shy babies who don't want to, they're non-confrontational. Self-assertive doesn't mean aggressive. It just means if someone is saying something or behaving in a certain way, you can assert yourself. You can say, just a moment, Miss Jones, I understand that you're unhappy, but your assertiveness doesn't have to go as far as being rude. So be assertive whenever you're explaining something, especially with clients that are kind of alpha or pushy. Congenial spirit that makes the work of selling agreeable to both parties. So I think that's the last one on that one. I left that one blank because I could not read my on my phone. So I'm going to leave that one blank and you guys can fill that in. So congenial spirit that makes the work of selling agreeable to both parties. I'm just going to say kindness. I'm going to say understanding. So you can put whatever you want in that blank, but it's got to be something that's positive. So maybe like a connection or something. Saying and doing the right thing without offense is called tact. So the one before it, I left it blank for you. You put what you need to put in. That was a hard one for me. Saying and doing the right thing without offense is tact. Suggesting because you really believe the sale is good for the patient, good for the patron, is called sincerity. So I'm going to write that on top. That means you really, really believe in it and you really know they need it. You're not just selling it to make a buck. That's the last one. Suggesting because you really believe the sale is good for the patron is sincerity. I think it's ITY. That doesn't look right. Whatever. Forgive me for my handwriting because I write fast. Okay. The last one. Why is your mom laughing at me? Don't you laugh at me. I'm trying. When you smile, I'm going to erase that sincerity because I don't think I spelled it right. Shoot. Okay. When you smile, it tells the client that you are truly pleased to service them. Get a smile at you guys. And then the last word is initiative. That's one that you're going to add on. It's not on the paper. And the definition is an ability to do a job without being asked. That's initiative. That's what salon owners are looking for nowadays. They don't want a sheep. Somebody who just stands around waiting to be told what to do. A lot of people want a forward-thinking person. They want to see someone who has initiative, who sees what needs to be done and just does it. Love people like that. Love students like that. All right. Now that I've killed you with notes, hopefully, who has initiative? Got the initiative. All right. So let's do a final roll call out. It's 6:07. Thank you guys so much. I had a good time. Hopefully, I'll be seeing you soon in person. If you don't have the worksheet again, don't freak out. Just write the notes as best you can to the best of your ability. I did not write the actual questions. I just wrote the answers for you guys. But you can get your hands on that worksheet. You're welcome, Jessica. Carson, can you retype 10C? Yes. Anything for you, Carson. 10. Can't read. I can retype it. How about that? I'll do that for you. 10C is a securing option from the landlord. Thanks, Jay. To assign the lease to another person. I know I was going fast. Sorry, you guys. But I know y'all got dinner to make. There we go. That's 10C. Hopefully, Jazzy, you're going to turn this in. Look at your schedule. I believe you guys are turning this in to Alana. I'm not for certain. Hopefully. Oh, thank you, Monica. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Really, really, really appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Oh, Lord. Okay, perfect. Garbedian, I don't think you turned this one in, or maybe you do. Check the schedule, check your emails. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. All right. Thanks, JoJo. No, Marie, we're not going to turn this into me. Just check your email for the schedule. I don't know if you have to turn this in or not. I know that you guys are going to have a little pop quiz over it, but it is a worksheet, so I'm sure you're probably going to have to turn it in at some point. Maybe. Oh, JoJo says no turn in. Okay, so yay. Okay, Randy said no, we weren't turning it in. Randy, what? All right. Have a great evening. Bye, y'all.